Alright guys, my name is Goblin, and today we're going to be talking about what is the best Paladin spec for leveling in the Burning Crusade. So this is essentially going to be the spec that you automatically respec into if Classic TBC does launch. So from reading comments on my videos and obviously in my streams, a lot of people seem to automatically think that Protection Paladin becomes a very viable spec for some reason in the Burning Crusade. And I mean, you can do it if you really want to, but in my experience you can have an extremely hard time because mana is still very much a huge issue when it comes to solo content, because obviously you have Spiritual Attunement which fixed the mana issue a little bit anyway, but you're not going to benefit from that at all because you're not grouped up with someone. So if you're doing solo leveling, unfortunately a very standard kind of boring retribution build that optimizes single target damage and mana efficiency is going to be the way to go. Just before we jump in guys, if you want to see more content like this, then please do subscribe to the channel because that really helps out. But anyway, let's take a little look at the Burning Crusade talents for a Paladin. So this is the kind of spec that you're going to respec into. There are some other talents that you may want to pick up and swap around, but this is the go-to spec in my opinion. So if Classic TBC launches, you're level 60, this is what you respec into. The spec mainly revolves around the key talent Vengeance, which obviously increases your damage done by physical and holy damage for 15% if you manage to stack it up to 3 times. So everything revolves around doing crits as much as possible, getting that buff maintained on the player for multiple different fights, because you don't want to basically be in a situation where you can't maintain that buff. You want to try and maintain the Vengeance buff for as long as possible when you're cycling through new enemies. So everything is mainly just about the talents increasing your crit chance and also your mana efficiency. So first of all we have Benediction, just a mana efficiency talent. Then we have Improved Seal of the Crusade. You will be using Seal of the Crusader. I do find it a massive advantage because of that crit chance, and again to get that Vengeance proc up. Improved Judgment, you are going to be spamming Judgment a lot, so really there's no other talents here that a better option, to be honest. So anyway, you move down to Pursuit of Justice. This is a really great way to get a really early boost to your mount speed and also your speed inside caves and other interiors and stuff like that, so I find that to be a massive advantage. Seal of Command is going to be your go-to seal pretty much 190% of the time. Even if you're a Blood Elf, it is generally considered better to use Seal of Command because Seal of Blood will obviously drain your health and then you'll have to heal yourself, so that can become a bit of an issue. Then we stack Conviction for the crit chance, fairly simple. Crusader, just a boring DPS increased by 3%. Sanctuary Aura, you're going to be using Sanctuary Aura 90% of the time, and you can also get it buffed with the Improved Sanctuary Aura talent. Then you've got Two-Handed Weapon Specialization, pretty standard damage increasing talent. Then you have Vengeance, obviously, what we talked about previously, what the whole spec revolves around. This is probably Sanctifies Judgment, actually probably one of the most valuable talents here. It's really underrated because what it would do is actually refund the mana of Judgment. So what you can do most of the time when you are leveling, your rotation is just going to be you spamming Seals and Judgments, and because of when you spec into Sanctified Judgment you can spam more Judgments because it's obviously way more mana efficient to do so. Anyway, then you have a slight buff to Seal of Crusader with Sanctified Seals, again just a little bit of extra cheeky crit chance. And then we have Repentance, fairly useful talent for making a quick escape. Then we have Phantasm, whatever that says, which basically when you spec into this it's very easy to maintain that Vengeance buff because you get an extra 15% crit on your Judgments. And again, this is another reason why you're going to be spamming Judgment a lot, because it's so you can get those crits flying in. And then Crusader Strike, probably only use it 1 to 2 times per fight, depending on how much mana you have available, and obviously it is a massive damage increase. Then we're going to spec into the Protection Tree. The main reason we're going into the Protection Tree is for Precision, for the increased crit hit chance. So when you start leveling in TBC content, you're going to have that increased hit chance straight away, which obviously is a big boost to your DPS. And then also you just finish off either going Divine Strength, Divine Intellect, whatever you really want to do, it doesn't really matter. But apart from the Divine Strength talent, it's going to give you fairly little bit of a cheeky damage boost for those last levels. Overall, the Burning Crusade leveling for a Paladin is a little bit easier than it is in Classic, but mana is still a huge issue, so I'd always recommend stacking strength but also lots of intellect when it comes to choosing your gear pieces. A lot of people also like to mess around with agility pieces, but generally wouldn't recommend it, because in the Burning Crusade, the gear pieces you're going to get, some of them will have crit chance on them, including strength, and that's probably the best way to go, rather than having an agility piece, because the agility piece isn't going to increase your attack power. And obviously if you have to sacrifice the fact that, if you have to sacrifice equipping a plate piece to equip a leather piece, that's not going to be too great for TBC leveling, because you're going to take a lot more damage, because you're going to be massively reducing your total armor points, which obviously increases the damage you take, which will reduce your efficiency because you just simply take more damage, you have to heal more and burn more mana. So generally I would never recommend picking up an agility piece if it's like, a leather piece or like a mail piece. I would definitely not recommend that. Always get full plate gear, strength with crit, and that's pretty Bob's your uncle. Although some strength pieces with agility, which are quite rare, they're going to be fine, but honestly don't sacrifice equipping too many mail or leather pieces for plate gear. Just generally wouldn't recommend it too much. But anyway guys, that's where I'm going to end the video there. My name is Benediction. Until the next video, ciao.